Beta Weekend 1 has just ended, and let me say it was probably the most fun I have had ever in an MMO PvP. Yes, it's that awesome. Okay, so there was a lot that I wanted to cover, but I ended up getting sucked in by the PvP and the world v world. So I did capture the first probably 15 minutes of PVE. There's a nice story in the beginning. I started out with the Mesmer, and we'll go over a little bit of that with the character creation as well. But I'm really glad I participated in this beta weekend event, and I hope you guys looking forward to seeing some PvP as well as some PvE just a little bit. Also did some structured PvP as well, so I hope you guys enjoy this journey. So right now in the beta there was only 3 races you could choose from. I guess normally when live comes out there will be 5. The Asura and the Sylvari are currently unavailable. Now I chose a human. I do make some other characters along the way. I also make a Char Warrior, and I also make a Norn Elementalist, a human Necromancer, and a Norn Guardian. Now, honestly, it's really a tie on how much fun I had with the characters. The Necromancer was really fun in PvP, so was the Warrior. I didn't get a chance to level up my Guardian enough so I could do World v World, but it was pretty fun in structured PvP. For the beginning of this, I'm obviously doing a Mesmer. He was pretty fun too. I'm using a build I call the Shredder. Basically it deals with high damage burst, building up certain illusions and then shredding them. I have improved mine rack damage. I think they improved crit chance as well to mine rack. On some of the PvP videos you'll see I was critting, three illusions shred about 1200 a piece. That's like 3600. It's a really high burst DPS. And the build I was using, I believe, a scepter and torch, and then a sword and sword. The sword was mainly for high DPS as well. Also some evasion as well with one of the abilities granting distortion as you use it. But it was a lot of fun. The Mesmer's a lot of fun. The Necro's a lot of fun. Mainly ground targeted, like traps essentially, but they're magical traps. They call them marks for the Necromancer. You just throw them on the ground. They do different things. One will cripple or chill a foe, which slows down their recharge rate, as well as cripple them so they're walking slower. But yeah, the Necromancer was pretty fun too. Now the Warrior, I surprisingly had tons of fun as well, and I'm usually not a warrior type of guy. I'm usually a caster slash stealthy kind of backstab type of character, but the Warrior was surprisingly gratifying, I guess you could say. I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, I mean, all the classes were fun. Guild Wars 2 has definitely stepped up the game as far as fun factor, definitely for the classes in PvP, even as much as in structured PvP as well. And it was all fun. But and right now I'm just kind of going through the character creation with my Mesmer, picking out my colors. I had actually done a lot of research on the Mesmer before I had even tried out Guild Wars 2. I looked up, possible what would be a good combo, and that's what the great thing about Guild Wars 1 that was really awesome is there was no set build. You find something, focus on that, and become really good at using it. I think that Shredder that I was talking about, if you were to get that down really well, it's really hard. I've taken down, you'll see in some of the videos I have later on in store. I was taking down a lot of people, rogues, everyone, warriors. Obviously warriors a little bit harder, but I pop all my cooldowns. I can take down a warrior at least 3/4, half his health pretty easy, and then just maintain a good steady amount of damage, and it's pretty much game over. But Mesmer was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. You know what? Let me actually give you a little history about myself. I've been gabbering about all this gameplay. I just got sidetracked. I've been playing MMOs since about 01, 02. Started out with EverQuest. Went to World of Warcraft amongst the way. I've played other games: Star Trek, EverQuest, Rift, Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 11, Star Wars. A lot of MMOs over the years: Warhammer, Aeon, and by far, this is the most fun I've ever had in PvP. Rift is a close second. That was a really good PvP game, but I feel like Guild Wars 2 has definitely stepped it up and said, you know what? Open world, this is what it's about. And also even the PvE, and they're not really known for being a PvE game, but that's where this game excels, is it has great PvP, and they're saying, you know what, we're going to make some PvE out there as well. And they even have 5-man raids that are supposed to be coming out with it, so really stoked. Here's some PvE for you role players.
The human race once ruled Tyria. Now, we struggle to hold our ground. We've been defeated, driven back, broken, but we will not surrender. So many nations have fallen. Only Kryta still stands. Our faith is strong despite the silence of the 6 gods. With courage, we'll make our stand in divinity's reach. The city is my home. I grew up on the streets. Although I have friends, my life has always been hard. I've faced the worst this city could throw at me, and I sent it home bleeding. I'm done living hand to mouth. There's a war on our doorstep, and I refuse to be buried by it. Today I stepped outside divinity's reach, hoping to find better luck outside the city. Problem is, when I arrived in Shaymore, the village was under attack by centaurs. Innocent villagers are in danger. Someone has to help. I can take care of myself, but that's not enough anymore. Someone has to help those who can't. This is my story.
And what a way to open up your story. I really like the art, how it's just kind of got like artwork in the background, but then the front of it is like your CG self, and it's like that with a lot of the back and forths in your PvE when you're conversing with other people. It's pretty awesome. Now, I will say this, that it was really cool that the choices you make when you're making your character and the character creation actually affect that story. Towards the end of the story, it kind of goes into the direction of whatever choices you made, whether if you were raised on the streets or raised by nobility, stuff like that. And right here, I'm just kind of farting around with the UI, messing with the graphics, obviously taking off shadows because that always bogs down the computer, especially when you're trying to record, especially. Also messing with the graphics a little bit. Now, there is one thing that I will say that was kind of... it bugged me a little bit, but I mean, this is only beta, and I should actually really submit that idea. Anyways, your F1 through F4, at least for a Mesmer, they're each an ability. And when I was trying to do the keybinds and actually make them set as like Shift 1 or Shift 2 or Shift 3 or something like that, I couldn't do it. I guess you can't do multi-key keybinds, so that was kind of a bug, kind of bugged me a little bit, because F1 through F4, even to me, that's kind of, you have to reach, and you're going to take away from your WAD, so you're losing mobility when you're actually trying to reach up and reach, one of those F1 through F4s, at least for a Mesmer. So it was a little frustrating. I just programmed my 11 and 12 and button 4 and 5 on my Naga, fortunately, which still even then it just didn't feel natural. If I could have done shift 1 through shift 4, it would have been so awesome and so much better, especially for a Mesmer when you're kind of weaving in these different shredding abilities you get, which it's pretty cool. I only really used the Mine Rack, which is the DPS one, and I guess I could have used the other ones, but for my build at least, my Mine Rack, I guess you could call it a Mine Rack too, but I like the Shredder better, it just sounds cooler. But yeah, that was the only thing that really frustrated me with the keybinds, but you know, there's still plenty of time where they can fix that at any time and, you know, make it better. Now, as far as the weapon skills are concerned, the way that works, it's really interesting actually. I kind of like it too. Depending on what weapons you're wielding, your weapon skills change. As you can see on the left side, there's 5 skills. Those are for your weapon, and the 5 right skills are your healing, 3 utility abilities, and an elite skill. Now, you only start out, obviously, you see, with your heal and about 3 weapon abilities. I'm only using a one-hander. I'm using just a sword, and that's it. I can equip an offhand, which could be a torch, many other various things. But basically, the more you use your weapon skills, the more abilities you unlock also. So obviously you're going to want to use all your weapons so you know you're proficient with everything. It was really cool, and every ability is different. It's not like, oh, you know, it just does damage. Oh, it just does 2 times 2 damage. You know, there's a lot of different debuffs that go on with this.
What do you need? Sergeant, there are more centaurs on the other side of town. Captain Thackeray's calling for reinforcements at the garrison.
If he's calling for help, it must be serious, but I can't spare anyone.
I'll go. Captain Thackeray's never failed Divinity's Reach. If I can help him, I will.
Balthazar bless you. That's the spirit that'll win this war. Good luck.
And so, back to the game. So, yeah, the story is pretty cool, you know. You're human, you're protecting your lands. Apparently they had this beef with the Char or something like that. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, either way. So, back to the weapon skills. Yeah, so I'm using the weapon skills, kind of just farting around here. The game is really awesome. You know, it makes it, the dynamic vents that they have, they make them so everyone can just walk right in, you know, and just start participating. And it wasn't like Warhammer where it was just really static. You know, you did 3 things, 3 stages of stuff, and then that was the end of the dynamic event. Your choices in this game will affect how the land is, how people greet you, stuff like that. So there's actually an effect you have on the world. It's not like, oh, I'm doing this quest and I'm building this faction for these people because they have cool gear, and other than that, you know, that's pretty much it. You're going to affect the world around you, and it's so awesome. And right here, I'm just kind of finding out what to do. It's really great. It's like just like Quest Helper if you've played World of Warcraft. It already automatically shows you where to go on your quest. There's no like hidden like, oh, I'm gonna go exploring, but it makes you go all over the world. There's also a little side quest that you can do, a lot of different stuff. If you notice to my number 1, there's like a yellow line that's kind of going from left to right. As you see there, I just unlocked another ability for my Mesmer. So like I said, the more you use a weapon, the better it is. Now, I will say that I was, I kind of had that feeling like in every MMO right here, kind of just like, oh, you know, it's just a quest, you know. I wasn't really thinking much of it. I was like, just excited to play the game. And here in a little bit, the quest just totally just kind of blindsided me. I mean, you know, I wasn't knowing what to expect when I was playing this right here. As you can see, there's maybe, you know, 7-8 other players right now, and the way the dynamic system works in Guild Wars 2 is the more people you have, it'll increase the difficulty of the encounter for the event. And as you can see, more players are showing up. I guess everybody else is starting to make characters and get started in the game. Just fighting away there on my Mesmer. Yeah, he was kind of cool. Made him look kind of Jokerish. And so we're just trying to fight through right here, get to the next phase of the event. I'm just messing around with the options apparently, and not fighting the centaurs that are coming to invade this little fortress. But that's alright, you know what? There's other people there for that, so. Okay. So now it's on to the next part of the event. The doors have opened to the fortress, and it sounds like there's some stuff going on in here, so I'm going to go in here and take a gander. As you could see on the top right, there is like a gold medal that just says I basically succeeded in this part of the event. And now the centaurs are trying to invade from the other side of this fortress. So it's up to us to stop these guys and stop this invasion of these centaurs. More centaurs. Oh, no. I really love the ability to everyone heals. I mean, I really love that. I mean, everybody gets the ability to heal. Oh, here comes the champion. He's like the named, I guess, of the encounter. Summons this elemental spectral hand, if you will, some kind of creature out from the ground, and so it's up to us to try to destroy it. One thing that I will say is really interesting about this game is when you die, you don't just die. You go into what they call a downed state, as you see right here. Basically, whenever you get all the way to 0 health, you still have a chance to be revived or come back to life. You have certain skills. These skills never change whenever you're down. As you see me, I'm using ability 4, and what that does is you channel, I guess, your energy to regenerate health and basically bring yourself back to life, as long as you don't get damaged. Now, if you get damaged, as you see, it stopped me, but luckily someone was there reviving me, so really interesting. So basically, combat is longer and more involved, and whenever you're down, you're just dead. Like this person right here was almost dead, and look at that, bring it back to life, and boom, they're good to go. And anybody can do this. It's not like, oh, only a healer can battle res, or only a hybrid class can battle res. No, everyone can battle res, and everybody has the ability to heal themselves. As you see here, we finished this next phase of the event, and so we temporarily beat this guy. But yeah, the downstate, totally interesting way to think about death, or not really death. Even when you really die, and say you lose all your health in your fight to survive mode or your down mode, someone can come along and still res you. Takes a bit longer, but the more people you have resing you, also, if you're dead, it actually goes by faster if you have more people doing it. I like it because, especially in an open world PvP situation, it makes combat a lot more fluid, and it makes it feel a lot more involved too. I really enjoy it. And so I head back to the fort and just waiting here for the next phase of the event. As you can kind of see, we're just kind of killing more centaurs. Now, I'm not quite entirely sure if this was meant to supposed to happen, where I did this twice. I'm not sure the quest just kind of bugged out or what, but kind of just do the same thing again. But it's pretty cool. Either way, it was still really awesome. I never expected to have such a opening like this in a, any kind of MMO. It was just so awesome. Really enjoyed it. Oh, another mechanic I wanted to kind of go over was the dodge mechanic. It's not really new to MMOs, but it's kind of interesting that they threw this into the whole mix, and I actually really like it. It kind of adds something else to PvP, on top of using abilities that block or possibly do other stuff. So, yeah, I think this is the time to sort of thing. But that's what they have beta for, figure out all these bugs and take care of them before live. But considering this is the first beta and this game is this polished, pretty awesome. Kind of reminds me of Army of Darkness, the hands coming out of the ground when he missaid the Klaatu Verata. Anyways. Still awesome. I mean, opening quest line, and you're here fighting undead hands coming from the ground. So epic. Yeah, run away, run away. I tried to chase him down this time, but he just got away, the old bugger. So we're here killing the hands again, but yeah, if you really enjoy PvE in a game and story or gameplay that makes you feel involved, I mean, this is awesome. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking, but Guild Wars or the team at ArenaNet, they just kind of knew that hey, these things are good in an MMO, and we're going to take them and make them as good as we possibly can. It's not like some MMOs and they focus on, we're just going to focus on the story, and the story is what's really going to drive the game in an MMO. And yeah, story's fine, but gameplay comes into factor, bugs, stuff like that. Not to name any names. Star Wars. But yeah, this game, hands down better than Star Wars. And Rift for that matter. And Rift to me was probably the best MMO that I've ever played, but I know this is only beta, but they can only go up from here, and that's the crazy thing. And right now, the foundation that Guild Wars is laying down, it's pretty sick. So it exploded. And that's that. And now we proceed to the next part like we're supposed to.
Where am I? What happened?
You were injured when the elemental exploded. Captain Thackeray brought you here personally. You've been unconscious for 3 days. You had lots of visitors. Villagers you rescued, some seraph, and a nervous, shady-looking character who came by every day, but wouldn't give his name.
That'd be my friend Quinn. You might want to check your supply cabinets. I'll find out what he wanted once I'm fully recovered. What should I do now?
Fresh air and exercise are the best medicine. The goddess Dwayna helped you. Perhaps you could help others?
Thanks, I will. And thanks for taking such good care of me.
Bless you. You'll find plenty to do out in the valley. May Dwayna protect you.
Yay! Finished my quest. I got some stuff. I got a nice offhand. My beta questionnaire in the top right. So yeah, that was the first little bit of the Human Mesmer PVE story going on there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. And this is Serrano786, and I'll see ya.